from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined once again by Dina Redinger and Sharon Weinstein, our business counselors at ACE Coaching Company, that is, let alone their authors. And they have a big launch coming up, and they're doing executive coaching and design. Wait till you hear more about their story. And it's excited to have them back again here to talk more about their launch of Healing Healthcare and their big tour across the U.S. Welcome to the show, ladies. How are you?
Thank you.
Just great. Nice to see you.
You too. So give us a little introduction. Tell us about who you are, what you do, and I know we're going to dive into some great stuff today.
So I'll go ahead and start, and then I'm going to hand it over to Sharon to talk about herself, but then also kind of the premise of why did we write this book anyway?
Yeah.
So my name is Dina Redinger, and I really want to thank everyone for allowing us to have a little bit of your time today to talk about a very, very important book. My background came from healthcare as well. So I was in nuclear medicine for 10 years. I went to pharma for the 25 years, came out in 2015, and I decided to be an executive coach around things that people don't do well through mergers, acquisitions. They do a lot of due diligence, but what happens is a lot of companies fall apart because the culture's not there.
Yep.
So the connection of Sharon and I, we both shared an environment, which was Healthcare Business Women's Association. We were launching a very large corporation, working with some of those women leaders to try to figure out how to make the company better, how to create more opportunity for their own careers. And what we found is that, the mistakes that sometimes big companies can make by not involving their people in the decisions of the company was going to cost this company over, $3 million a day. So Sharon and I were just kind of set back and aghast, and the company really didn't do anything with the information. And it put us together. That's where we all started, So we have a healthcare background. I have obviously business coaching. I'm a franchise owner. But, for Sharon and I, it's really about our new book, Healing Healthcare. And I want Sharon to introduce herself. This is our book. I don't know if you can see it on there, but that's what it is. And then Sharon can, talk about her background and why we even, why did we write this book? So Sharon, over to you.
Sure. I am so happy to be back with you today. It's really a pleasure. I too come from the clinical space.
Okay.
Mine is in the nursing area, and I spent a lot of time on working on IV pharmacology, intravenous pharmacology, wrote multiple books on that topic, really passionate about the drug-drug interactions, the things that we give to patients in the hospital that sometimes interact with the oral medications they might be taking at home that are either prescription or over-the-counter. And sometimes these things commingle and can kill someone.
Oof.
I speak from experience, having seen it happen. And it's really a devastating process. So I was really always involved in the safety aspects. And then again, as I started to work with Dina on this project with Healthcare Business Women's Association, we connected very heavily in the area of design thinking. And so we've hosted multiple groups with thousands of professionals together and have really had great success in that space. We just completed a group last week. We have a new one starting up in November. But what we're most passionate about right now, not that it ever changes, is the concept of healing what we both know is broken. We must heal the broken healthcare system. And that was the impetus, Jill, for this book. And it all evolved as a result of a nurse leader listening tour that we did that led us to golden nuggets that we thought had to be shared with the masses. And now we're really excited about getting the word out there, letting people know that this is the book that everyone must read. They must visit us at one of the launches that we're doing. And Dina, do you want to share that information or shall I?
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it right here. So we're going to be in St. Louis on October the 17th and 18th. And that's the male nursing conference.
The American Association of Men in Nursing.
Men in Nursing. So that's really pretty cool. We're pretty excited about that. October the 23rd through the 25th, we're going to be at the Wellbeing Summit there in Ohio State University. It's at the Hilton Columbus downtown. So we'd love people to come to that. October the 30th through November the 1st is the Magnet Pathway to Excellence Conference, and that's going to be down in New Orleans. So we're going down there. November the 6th, we're going to Rush University. So we'll be there in Chicago. And November the 14th, we will be in Vienna, Washington, the SIVA
Vienna, Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. I'm sorry, Virginia. And
we're almost across the bridge.
Well, they are. But we need seats because what we want to do is we've created the tour around our authors because it's the authors. When we started talking to them, Jill, it was like,
wow.
Well, they have the answers. They all had the answers for everything that we know that's been broken. And we sat down and said, well, what do we do with this? And then it was just like, okay, well, we need to create a book with the authors that have the answers to the strategies for health systems that they're all broken, Jill, right now. They all are. So that's how we kind of put things together. We want people in seats. So I know we had a kind of a long-winded answer to the introduction, but certainly, what kind of questions were you kind of thinking in your mind?
Always okay, please. But first, I need the website. How can we find you and find out the schedule and all that, please, and find the book?
Go ahead.
The website is https://healbrokenhealthcare.com.
Perfect. And also
healbrokenhealthcare.com. By clicking on that link, you can get on the list for our newsletter. You can reserve a copy of the book. You can order the copy of your book now. Think about it, Jill. It is less than 1 month away. Wow. Yesterday was September 22nd. Our launch date is October 22nd. And we are thrilled.
And where are you going? I mean, you're going across the U.S., right?
Yep. We're going wherever we have pockets of authors. So we're really excited. As Dina indicated, the gold in those bare hills, if you will, comes from our authors. Mm-hmm. They do have the answers. We want to support them in their efforts and go where they will be. And we also want to go where there are pockets of them. So, for example, in January, which is not yet on the calendar, we'll be doing something in Missouri. And it will involve a couple of authors. It'll involve Christy Dempsey. It'll involve Vicki Good. Hopefully, Sue Johnson will join us from Indiana if she's able to do so because she cannot come to Chicago. But what we really want to do is to assemble groups of authors so that they can join the panel discussion, so that they can share their answers, so that they can tell you why this solution will work.
Yeah. Well, could we talk a little bit about what's broken in healthcare? I know there's a lot, but to get a little bit of an idea. And, I know you have they're evidence-based strategies. So you already know the things that can really fix the system.
Right. Yeah. One of the things I'll start off and then I'm going to hand it over to Sharon is just people don't know there's a lot of incivility amongst nurses in systems. So people don't know about it. It's kind of one of those secret things because, the way I have seen healthcare is, nurses are very caring and they're very kind. They have a mission for that patient, and we are overworked. They are underserved. They're having to still carry a high patient load, but at the same time, there's incivility just amongst the nurses. And I really think it comes from the stress of the system, just trying to maintain. We've had a big financial loss, post-pandemic. You're dealing with over 2 million nurses that left during the pandemic. And now we're trying to fight to see who's going to take care of us in 20 years. Because Sharon and I believe that there's going to be nobody if we don't fix it. So over to you, Sharon.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm glad that you mentioned the system because in addition to this incivility, we've divided the book into, to be honest, workforce, well-being, and wisdom, because it resonates with what those issues really are. So when we look at the workforce, yes, it is a bit of incivility. There is no question whatsoever.
Okay.
But it is also systematic. It is at an organizational level where the business strategy does not align with the people strategy, meaning the people, not the patients, but the people who provide the service. The people who are working within that system, who every single day return to another situation in which they are just stressed out.
Yeah.
So it's almost being unable to manage what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But people don't know this, right? They don't know. They just see that, well, we've got this system. It's losing money. It may be a community funded hospital, right? But people don't really understand the funding of community hospitals even, it could be based on bonds that they have, to be able to run that system. If senior leadership does not listen to the people who have the answers and the people that are, crying out loud about what they need, it's just a huge miss. And leadership has to wake up and know we've already got the strategies. They're in the book. Yeah. Try them for 90 days, pick something. Get your people involved so that you're solving the business critical issues that they have. And the people are crying, but really kind of nobody's really listening.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. And what Dina said is correct. Let's at least pilot something. Pilot one small strategy. What we suggest is that you take one thing per week or per month. You determine that this is what I'm going to do. For example, Bob Dent is one of our authors from the workforce section. He's from Emory University.
All right.
He basically says, and I'll quote, to secure a robust and healthy nursing workforce for the future, we must adopt a comprehensive approach to both recruitment and retention strategies, as seen on the next page. So within the book, he gives us these strategies. He tells us what needs to be done because he's offering the solution. He has tested the solution.
Yeah.
He has shared the solution with others. He knows that it works.
Right.
And our future, our collective future is so dependent on this.
Yeah. So Sharon shares on one of our podcasts we did yesterday, an interview last week, I want to say, if we look at, who are going to be our future nurses that are going to take care of us, they're the junior high kids right now.
They're in middle school.
They're in middle school.
Oh, my goodness.
So if you take that with all of the things that have happened with pandemic, and we've got a new generation of people that are going to be taking care of us, but yet the older generation is dropping out because, it's time to move on. A lot of people have retired. This book captures what everybody needs to know that's not been shared collectively. So that's one of the things that's really spurred us to write this book, is that it is a collective solution. And all people have to do is buy the book and just read it. Even if you just read one chapter, do something with it.
And Dina is right. There has not been a repository where all of this is collected in one place. Mm-hmm. We have done that. And that's the difference between this book and other books that talk about what the problems are. Everybody knows there are problems, Jill. But we have solutions.
Fixing it. So how is it working so far with all the hospitals and all the offices? I mean, how are you? It's hard to get into that network, right? For people to actually wake up and to listen. And I mean, I know you're doing your press tour, which is amazing. And, is there been any challenges trying to reach out to these people, the heads of these, hospitals and, all involved?
We are just starting that journey, because we want to get this out, but we have to have support. It's kind of like anytime you're in any sort of organization, it really doesn't matter what it is. There has to be a collective connection and communication with people in the organization. So we have to start with, like Sharon said, start with our authors, start with people within that system, have a community of people who are like-minded and can say, we can help make this change. So you can't just change a ship or a big, ship overnight. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to strategically choose where you're going to go. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're going to go to each one of these conferences, and we've actually had people say, let's just do something in Chicago. And so we reached out to the people. We reach out to the people that have influence with the people within the system, because if you don't have that relationship, you'll never get in. Exactly. And then we've taken it a step further. So in addition to reaching out to all of them, we have bundled a program in which if people will buy a case of books, and a case is only 32 copies of a book, but if they will buy some books, we will present for them a virtual presentation on overcoming the overwhelm from overwork for their organization. Yep. Or if they'll buy a larger quantity of books and ensure that they give one to each of those attendees, I'll come there, or Dina will come there, and we'll present live that information. I just made that offer this morning to my colleagues at Hopkins and the University of Maryland.
Yay. Oh, my goodness.
So Sharon's kind of the master as far as the networking, because she's been in the system so long, but we do have a very strategic process for what we're trying to do, but we certainly want people to jump on, and hopefully the ship will move some place forward.
Right. And we're also dependent upon our authors to really get involved in terms of social media marketing. We have a couple of shining stars. Of course, they come from the American Association of Men in Nursing. They are so savvy. And when you see what they post, we continue to get so excited about it. We know that they're exciting others as well. But, nurses hold the keys to fixing broken healthcare. People need to listen to the nurses.
Interesting. And there's a big takeover in that too. Like, I don't know about the medical field much. Obviously, you all do, but there's a lot of nurses, nurse practitioners now, physician assistants all entering the field in the game, right? That are doing a lot of the work that the doctors are too, which is more cost effective for these hospitals for this. And I mean, it's just, there's so much difference. And since the pandemic, I mean, could you just share about your experience with the pandemic and how you saw that really change things here?
Well, first I want to pick up on something that you said, and then I'll turn it back to
sure.
Dina. You said that there are NPs, there are PAs, there are physicians, there are hospitalists, there are so many in the healthcare field. When we talk about healing healthcare, we're not talking about healing nursing. We're talking about healing a healthcare system that is fed by an interdisciplinary team of folks who work collaboratively to make things happen. We need everyone's support to make this happen. We have so many physicians who are reading this book. I'm doing grand rounds at MedStar on this book.
Yeah.
To a physician team. So there are so many people involved. Dina, do you want to talk about COVID?
Yeah, so we did an extensive coaching, probably worldwide, through Healthcare Business Women's Association, and so we did. I can't even really give you a number, but because everything was virtual, we had touched the U.S., Germany, Singapore, Sweden. The list just goes on of companies, within the healthcare, even trying to support it. J&J, companies that were making the vaccine. People were working anywhere from 12 to 20 hours a day. And so then you've got your nurses, those people who are trying to get the vaccines done. Then you've got the nursing who are working that or longer, not taking any breaks. I think the key with post-pandemic is, it had to really look at how they were going to deliver care during that period of time. But also the ramifications of something like that was unpredicted just totally undid the game of how we lead people and how nursing will be administered. So, I think we're still catching up with what we do with that. And that's kind of what we saw, even with the book.
Of course,
there were problems before the pandemic. So that's the biggest issue. It was all there before. The pandemic exacerbated it. And then we had a large number of people who said, heck no, I'm out of this. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. So now the systems are suffering financially because everybody's trying to catch up. So it's the financial piece that is driving a lot of healthcare decisions, but they really don't realize that, the people that are doing the work are the people that makes organizations run. So you've got to figure out, how do you create strategies where people are inspired to stay, and leadership has to let go of, I've got the answers, because they have to really start investing time and just energy inside the people that work there. And that's for all organizations. So I'm just going to say this is organizational wide. You can take this book and probably apply it anywhere. But for healthcare that we're focusing on in our strategies right now, it's really that. It's all about people, and the leaders forget that it's about the people.
Yeah, it really is. Well, let's remind everyone at this time, since we are more than halfway through, how we can reach out to you. Once again, tell us the website, best form of contact, and of course, where are you going to be first?
Yeah, so Sharon, I'm going to let you take how to get a hold of us, and then we'll talk about where we're going to be first.
Okay, so you can get a hold of us on our website at https://healbrokenhealthcare.com. It is the ultimate resource for everything you need to know about the book, for an opportunity to purchase it, for an opportunity to reach out to us, to read bios, to learn more about the authors, anything and everything. And of course, to subscribe to our newsletter, which is coming out this week. You can reach me at Sharon and the Sharon is spelled the traditional way, SHARON at smwgroupllc.com. And you can reach Dina at
Dina at ACE coaching and then co.com. And both of our websites have things that you can look at. ACE Coaching Company, we've got, some things that you can look at and order books. You can also contact us, and the most important thing too is that once you understand the power of the people within the organization, having people making sure they're solving the right problem at the right time is critical. So that's why we have diagnostic design thinking to make sure people are solving the right problem. Because 100% of the time, it's our subconscious, that's making that decision for you, because all of your experiences in your past dictate how you operate, how you think. That's true for everyone. What we do is unpack some of that deeper subconscious thinking so that people are solving the right problem at the right time. That's critical, because if you don't solve that problem, then systems, organizations, and people are still feeling either broken, frustrated, or they leave.
Got it. I know. It's so sad. So true, though. But on your journey of putting all this together, in the book, could you give us some insight into all the work that went into? I'm assuming you had to interview a lot of people, right? I mean, I know your own experience, but you were interviewing who? From executives to, nurses to doctors, or who did you go to for this information to do all this background digging on?
When we started the Nurse Leader Listening Tour, it was primarily with nurse leaders. Mm-hmm. If you look at the book and the final result of who's included in the book, they are not all nurse leaders. We have several people who are not in healthcare at all. We have someone who's a values coach who talks really about systems and value and organizational level design, which is very, very important. We have Bonnie and Mark Barnes, who are the co-founders of the Daisy Foundation, which is the ultimate premier organization for nurse recognition. So neither one of them is a nurse, but they have a story to tell that must be told. So when you look at the book collectively, it is a collection of excerpts from individuals who were asked to look at certain aspects of what was going on within the system, what they had already done within their own systems and within their own work, and what they had published and what they had written about, and what they had field tested and vetted, and their willingness to share that and create new content for us that would really provide the evidence that we all need.
Yeah. And it was very interesting. I think it was just kind of a God thing. It just kind of popped up one day before we wrote the book. There was an opportunity to write a grant so we could get a grant. So Sharon helped, write that because she is just amazing when it comes down to writing and editing and making sure things, get done well. So kudos to you, Sharon. She's an amazing partner.
Thank you.
But I saw this and we went ahead and put this in there and we ended up getting it, so it wasn't as much as probably other people. Then we went to Amplify Publishing. So this is a shout out to Amplify because they did a great job helping us trying to move this through, doing releases, helping us with some of that marketing. So, for getting ready, it was a daunting task to interview, make sure people have their, chapters written and making sure things look well. And then we had to really negotiate because we're really kind of operating on, it's all about sweat equity, time, and also the funds we found them and we got it. So for that, we're ever thankful. So once we got it, we said, okay, let's go to somebody who we think is going to could really help us get this off the ground. So that's a little bit of what happened. So it's taken us about, 2.5 years, maybe, Sharon?
I think so. From discovery to completion. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think so, because we were like, oh my gosh, this is such good information. And we sat back and we watched the system. And even though it's just a healthcare system, it's so important that, if people even take just a piece of that in their own organization and pick it up, to probably build their own system, because it's all very, how I want to say it, it can be used in so many different ways.
Exactly. And it is totally based on ideation, on design thinking, on innovation.
Okay.
These are the authors' original ideas. This is something that they have designed and field tested within their own organizations. They know that it works, and they're so eager to share. They know that when you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. They know that you have to start at A to get to Z, that it doesn't just happen.
So true.
And so we have such incredible respect for the individuals who contributed to this book. There are 26 contributors in all, plus us. One, unfortunately, we lost prior to the publication, but her content is in the book, and she passed way too early, but her wisdom is shared, and that's what's so important. We have tried to pay homage, to pay respect to each of our contributors, to really showcase them and to let the world know that these are the people with the answers.
Right. Yeah.
Got it. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here. And this is exciting. I mean, this whole tour, this whole uphill that you're going to, make your way here across the states. And, you're talking about changing things. And what about, I know change starts here for listening, but what about the government? What about who do you have to seek out, in each state? Or this is really a national issue, but are you also working on that aspect of it as well? To our changers, our senators, or, people that can really make those change.
Yeah. And I think once we get done with the tour, once we see, and like I said, it's all about collective influence. No one can create change by themselves. And Sharon and I know that. So once we do our tour and we can sit down with them and strategize about the next step, then the government for sure is the next place we would go to try to make sure that some of the rules around, where are some of these people getting funding and how can they get more funding for their, health systems, but also, some of the places that are very much involved with FTDs and how many patients a nurse can take and how they're going to run their system and how they're going to get funded. That's just a whole nother level of strategy, but we have to take the people that have been a part of this book to get a movement going. So that's what the tour is all about. It's inspiring people to come along on our journey, which I think we've done a great job so far.
And to be a part of the movement, truthfully. And the other thing we want is we're looking for publicity releases. We're looking for information. We're looking for talk shows. We're looking for those individuals, those journalists who really want to showcase the issue, who maybe have witnessed it themselves firsthand, who have family members or others who are involved and really want to make it better, want to see it heal, and want to be a part of it. They too can help share our message.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys for being here again. And ladies, we're excited that you're here and excited for the kickoff. One more time, tell us the book, how we can get it.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, Healing Healthcare. Evidence-based strategies to mend our broken system, which we know is broken, but we have a fix. This is not a Band-Aid, ladies and gentlemen. This is a real evidence-based fix. You can get the book and get information at https://healbrokenhealthcare.com.
Perfect.
Please join us on this journey.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you back. And
Thank you.
hopefully we'll speak again next time before you head out on the road, right?
Yep.
Thank
Yay!
you. Yeah,
Looking
that'll be
forward
great.
to it. Thank you again.
Right,
and to
care.
all of our
Thank you.
listeners, stay tuned. And viewers,
Take care.
thank you. Have a fantastic day.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.